Hello guys, and today I will take a look at the Kranvagn, which is the tier 10 Swedish heavy tank. In today's World of Tanks it is really a sight to see this tank in the battle, and I think that this tank is extremely underrated right now. For me it is one of the best tier 10 heavy tanks in the game, and today we will see how this tank is performing in today's meta. If you want to see the setup you can skip. I will show it at the end, as well as the statistics of this vehicle. And now let's go into the first battle. And for the first battle we have Fjords. Definitely a good map for a Kranvagn, because on the heavy flank we can use our 12 degrees of gun depression, and with this indestructible turret we can just try to abuse the enemies here. Another important thing to look at here is the matchmaking. As we can see here, only tier 9s, so great for us, but even more important, the enemies don't have any heavy tanks on the tier 10. And with that, we just have to go on the heavy line and try to help our team as much as possible. Enemies have, I think, 5 heavy tanks on the tier 9, so we should be able to do a great job. And as I said, with this indestructible turret, completely indestructible on this tier 2, only the little cupolas can be penetrated, but if you play correctly, they just cannot do anything. We will be able to destroy enemies completely. Another thing to have in mind is that sometimes the enemies might think that this is a weak spot of yours. And they would be wrong, because you need 380 millimeters of penetration to pen there. So that is another great thing about this tank. And some people just shoot there and think that it is a weakness, but it really isn't. So we are loading hit shells, because the heavy tanks up front are definitely a hard thing to pen. And now we cross here, hold down position, and the farming begins. They just cannot do anything. I mean, they are going at me, but as you can see, I'm taking my gun up, so they don't see even my cupolas, and now I'm truly indestructible. And also another thing which is great about the Kranvagn is the DPM. So even though it's a magazine, you have 22-second reload. And with this 22-second reload, sometimes you can just outshoot the opponents. And as you can see, even though our cupolas are quite small, this Type 68 managed to pen us here and even hit us. And that is because he has the improved gun mechanics. But fortunately for us, we have the hit shells, and also he is a little over angled here. So as you can see here, another important thing, the arrow here is green, so that means that we can pen him. And that is one of the most important thing in the heavy tanks, to just look at the arrow, and then you can know if you are able to pen the enemy. So we reloaded another magazine. Unfortunately I took the wrong setup here, and I have only 9 hits left. And for the Conquerors, you definitely need those hit shells, because against those Conquerors, the cupola of there is easily penetrable, but only with the hits. If you don't have the hit shells, they can pen you. Now we managed to destroy the M103 and another shell in the Czech heavy tank. And yeah, as I said earlier, there is nothing they can do to us. Even though we took one shell, this was the only thing we took here, and we have already 4,500 damage. Now for the Conqueror, I will show you in the Tanks GG how the hits affect the Conqueror. But yeah, we are able to hit the first one and pen, the second one unfortunately doesn't pen, and the third one misses. So now I'm trying to push up front, even though our full armor isn't as good as the turret. We are still a magazine, so we can take one shell and just shoot the enemy twice or even 3 times. I'm Now I think that I'm just pushing here because I'm on full HP almost. And we definitely won this flank. So now that is the only thing that I'm going to do here. Just now end the game here. Farm as much damage as possible. This guy, fortunately for him, penned us. Yeah, as you can see, even though we have such a strong turret, he managed to pen us in this. And that was because he got, first of all, lucky. And second of all, we were a little looking up on him, so the turret wasn't as angled as good as it can be. Now already 7,500 damage. This battle isn't really that interesting, just it shows what this tank can do. I don't know why people don't play this tank as much. It used to be completely overpowered because it had less than 20 seconds reload, and the gun handling was much better because now sometimes you can definitely miss some shells, but as you can see, if you aim fully, you definitely will hit your shells most of the time. And still, this 22 seconds reload time and the indestructible turret is just a crazy combination for this tank. So now I'm loading hits and trying to do as much as possible. Who knows, maybe even more than 10k, but it doesn't look like it for now. The 1-to-1 is on the left side, so we can't really push. I don't really want to shoot him because he's hidden well. 3 tanks only left, but we did our job already. Now I'm going for the Gonkiewicz here. As you can see, I'm trying to go as far right as possible in order to this 1-to-1 not be able to shoot me. And now I'm hiding behind the buildings here, and I should be able to just go for this tank destroyer here. Yeah, one shell in, 400, and maybe one more, but he is turning, so we are waiting for the opportunity, and the kill is ours. 8,700 damage. Definitely we were one of the reasons why this battle ended so fast. And now for the score. So almost 9,000 damage, 3 frags, 2,000 bounced, some spotting, ace tanker, high caliber of course. As we can see on the team score, only 1,300 base XP, but from the damage we can see that our team did a little over ourselves, but all of them combined, so not that bad of a battle for us. Now for the credits. Of course, I didn't even use the reserves, so we did get loss of the 24,000 credits, but it isn't that bad for full spamming gold, and this is one of the bad things about this tank. So you need to spam gold, you don't really have the penetration here, and this is what you need to understand if you want to have a good battles with this tank. And now for the second map, we have mines. So definitely a good map for Kranvagn if our team manages to take hill. Tier 8, so that will seem even greater, but unfortunately I will spoil you a little bit. Our team does not do its job, so we will have to do as much as possible, and even in fast battles this tank can definitely shine. Even though it's an autoloader, the DPM, base DPM is 2,700 almost, and with that you definitely can be useful in those fast games, not like other tanks. You have only 22 seconds reload, and that is the power of this tank basically. Of course there are a few bad sides, like the gun handling isn't great, and the penetration is the biggest downside. So that is what you will have to watch out for. But yeah, as you can see here, after shooting I am taking my gun up, so the enemies won't be able to shoot me in the cupolas. Now that I managed to, of course, shoot 3 times, fortunately. The Conqueror here, the Super Conqueror, so the tier 10, is shooting us HEs, and he isn't really doing much. So I don't really care about that, and with those hits, I think that I will be able to pen him here. So the Conqueror has two main weaknesses on the turret. The first being, of course, the cupola here. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to pen him this time. And the second one, which is sometimes people don't know about this one, is under his turret. He has gun mantlet, and under the gun mantlet you can easily pen him, even with those weak HE shots. In those magazine, unfortunately, I managed to only hit him once with penetration, but now I tried to bait him into going forward. I just tried to troll him because I was going backwards. I don't know if he took that bait, but now we are picking. Yeah, he thought I went back, and as you can see, under gun mantlet we managed to pen him, and he's still shooting us for 30 damage here, so it doesn't really matter for us. Yeah, unfortunately we are losing already 3-0, but we are definitely doing our job, shooting as much as possible, shooting the Kiliana, bullying this Super Conqueror, and now I'm looking at the map and thinking that I should be going on the right side because my team will definitely not win this game there without me. Although I wanted to stay middle here because our Bachat here may not be the best guy, and if he dies then our team will definitely fail the middle and we will still lose. But I couldn't just sit on the middle. Also the left side is lost, so I needed to take some initiative here and just help our team here. Yeah, I'm trying to hit the Jagdpanzer because he's the most important target here. He shot, fortunately. Unfortunately, my aim did fail me here twice, so I mean, second time wasn't that bad. And unfortunately, one shell out of 3 only hit the Jagdpanzer here. As you can see, the Bachat died. But fortunately we managed to bounce the Jagdpanzer here, and that is because of the strong turret of this tank. He didn't really aim here. Yeah, the Bachat definitely is molding in the chat, but there wasn't much we could do here about him. And now we are trying to kill the Jagdpanzer here, definitely the most important target. We are losing 1-7, so not much we can do in this battle, but fortunately we have 4000 already. I'm trying to bait him. As you can see, I'm raising my gun here and I'm like simulating that I am reloading, but I'm holding this one shell and he got baited into it. So definitely that is one thing that I try to use in the Kranvagn, just baiting people. They think that I'm reloading because I'm like hiding my capolas, and they just picking me and I punish them for that, and that is how you can try and play with your Kranvagn as well. Now somehow our team managed to come back a little bit, 5-7. Unfortunately we are still losing on the HP. We are killing another tank. The Kiliana is here. I'm trying to angle here. One more shell in the magazine, hit him already. As you can see, I'm riding on this rock here, but our teammates are dying one after another. We just don't have enough anything, DPM or the gun handling RP. Unfortunately this game isn't really winnable here. After all, we are still trying to do something here. 3000 bombs already, 5500 damage, but we are just attacked from each side. Now I fortunately killed the Super Conqueror here. The Kiliana is going after me, but I'm trying to take the 268 here. Unfortunately we didn't pen him because of the hits, and the Kiliana shot us as well, so we are on only 200 HP. And yeah, this battle is already lost. We have only 500 HP as a team, now 400. 2 guys left, and that is the battle here. Unfortunately I died here. And now for the equipment that I'm using. So the first and only setup that I'm using is hardening, stabilizer and the ventilation. I have purple stabilizer, but if you don't have it, don't worry, the normal one will do just fine. There isn't really another setup that I recommend. I don't think that the turbo is necessary here. Any other thing also. So basically this is the only setup that I would recommend you use. And now for the crew perks. So on the commander I have coordination, brothers in arms, repairs, emergency and practicality. For the bonus perks I have side by side, then firefighting and the situational awareness. For the gunner I have brothers in arms, snapshot, armor and quick aiming. Maybe for the quick aiming you could take the repairs, but you definitely need to improve the gun handling on this tank. And for the bonus perks I have intuition, definitely very important. Then ammo tuning, because you need more penetration as you can see, and more damage is also a nice thing to have. And then I would think about taking adrenaline rush or the close combat. So those are the 3 perks that I would use as a leader. And for the driver I have brothers in arms, smooth ride, repairs and engineer, in order to have more backward speed, because only 12 kilometers an hour base isn't what you want to have. Next perk I would take is probably off-road driving, because you will be just faster on any terrain, and then basically you can take anything you want. Also another thing important on this tank is the ammunition. I'm using 24 APCRs and 24 hit rounds. You definitely need more penetration on this tank. As you can see on the APCRs you have only 252 millimeters, and on the hits it is even worse because you have 300 millimeters only. For a tier 10 tank on gold shells, that is definitely not the value you are going for, and this is one of the things that make this tank not as great. I have also the second setup with more APCRs. Maybe the second setup should be having more hits, but that is for you to choose. And thank you for watching. This is all for today. If you enjoyed the video, I would greatly appreciate if you liked or made a comment. If you want to see anything else, just comment, and see you next time.